Joining us now with more insight into our current economic state, chief economist, global strategist, and founder of Schiff Gold, Peter Schiff, back on the program. Peter, nice to see you. Let's get right after it. Every time you come on, I'm looking for a silver lining. I'm looking for some good news. And I don't know if I can find it today. You got anything good, or are we just going to go with what the hell's going on in reality?
The news is unfortunately bad. I'm just a messenger.
I know.
Don't shoot me. But, you talked about oil just before, I came on. And, they can't afford to refill the Strategic Petroleum Reserve because the price of oil has already gone up 22% this year. It's at $87 a barrel. Last year, oil prices were down 10% for the year, and the CPI was up 4.1. This year, we're only a quarter of the way finished with the year, and we're already up 22%. And you have Powell and everybody else saying that inflation is going to come down this year. How is that possible? With not only oil prices, the CRB is exploding. And in fact, gold prices just took out 2,300, all-time record high. This is all because inflation is coming back big. And that's what's going to make home ownership and just about everything else completely unaffordable, because prices are going to go up a lot faster, I think, this year than they did in the last couple of years, and it was bad in the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. It's been horrific, and I'm tired of hearing these lying pieces of from the Biden regime and the mainstream media being like a little parrot with the talking points that things aren't that bad. Well, people just aren't maybe seeing or feeling how Bidenomics is helping the economy. You have some really out-of-touch people at the upper echelon of the Democrat leadership because they really think it's not that bad. Show them the headline on the homes. Because I wanted to get Peter's take on this one. So just 3 or 4 years ago, if I'm getting the numbers correct, you had to make at least, and I could be off on this because I don't have the article in front of me, but you had to make at least about 69,000, maybe it was 59,000, somewhere around 50 or 60 grand to afford home ownership. This was an average across the country. Obviously, if you're in crazy expensive cities, that doesn't adhere to you, but this is average. Now you have to make 109,000 to afford a home. Just in 4 years, it skyrocketed. And it all has been, the majority, obviously, 3 years and 3 months under Joe Biden.
Oh, yeah. And not only is it going to get a lot more expensive to buy a home, because mortgage rates are about to take another move up, but it costs more to maintain the home once you buy it.
Right.
Because insurance costs are through the roof. The maintenance costs have gone through the roof. Taxes are going up. Everything about home ownership is going up. I mean, some people are lucky because they locked in a fixed rate mortgage, but the flip side of that is that all of our banks are insolvent because they own these mortgages and they're losing money on them.
Yeah. Peter, my last question is an easy one. I want to bring this headline up from Bloomberg. You're always talking about the debt and how that's the biggest part. If we keep printing money and spending money we don't have and putting the government into the country into more debt, inflation will continue to rise. So the Congressional Budget Office is warning, big red flag. The U.S. federal government debt is on path from the current 97% of GDP last year to 116% by 2034. 30 seconds left. How detrimental is that for the future of our economic prosperity for this country, Peter Schiff?
Oh, they're even sugarcoating it because they're assuming we have no recessions and that interest rates don't explode. I mean, we have a much bigger problem than they acknowledge. That's why the price of gold is at a record high. That's why it's going to keep going up. And I think we're on the verge of a dollar crisis and a sovereign debt crisis. So this is not a problem for our kids. It's a problem that we're going to be dealing with, and we're probably going to be dealing with it over the next several years.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. Listen, next year at this time, hopefully you and I are going to be saying a lot better things once we've got a new administration and you know who unleashes energy and changes regulation and does a whole bunch of things that'll get this country back on track. I'm praying, I'm crossing my fingers every single day. Peter Schiff, thank you, brother.
Okay.